Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see the concept about the basic concepts of memory management. Okay, so this is one part of the operating system. So the previous classes we have seen all about the process management, how the process can communicate, how they can be processed and how they can be created, initiated, and how they can be assigned to the queue, and all those things I have learned in the previous process management concept of operating system. Now this is the next module called as the memory management part of the operating system. Okay, so here as the name implies, the memory management in the sense that the memory of the computer should be organized in such a way that the programs can multiple programs can reside in the main memory, and they can be brought from the disk to the main memory and back to the main memory so that they can the CPU can access the part of the program to access. So we all know that only the CPU can access only the processes which is reside in the main memory or the registers. We all know that registers are of the smallest memory, which is the fastest memory to access, and main memory is the next level of the secondary memory. So now here in between is the cache memory. Okay, so what is cache memory is? It is between the registers and the main memory. That means the size of the cache memory is little bit bigger than the registers, but it is smaller than the main memory. And not only the size, the speed is also, the registers are so faster, and then cache memory is faster and main memory is fast. Okay, so second memory is slow. So this is the hierarchy of the memory in the system. Okay, now see here, so when the program has to be processed, it has to be brought from the disk to the main memory and placed within the process for it to be run. That is where the CPU can access the main memory to get the process to get executed. Okay, so now when you say CPU is accessing, in the sense there are some CPU cycles or clock pulses, we say the CPU clock pulses is required to make a register access. That means in order to access a content of the register, so the CPU should have to spend one clock, or it depends upon the clock speed of the system. Okay, and then main memory can take many cycles. So you can just compare the speed of this register access as well as the main memory. So what does it mean is, for register access a single clock pulse is enough, because register is a small memory, maybe 8-bit or 16-bit or 32-bit, depending upon the size of the computer, RAM capacity of the computer. When you say main memory, it can take many cycles, because main memory is a block of memory where some part of the program can reside in the main memory. So since it is bigger than the register, the area is also larger. Naturally the cycles, CPU cycles will be also more in order to access the main memory. And then cache memory sits between the main memory and the CPU register. That means the size of the cache is between the main memory and the CPU. So naturally the cycles required to access the cache is also between the cycles required for main memory and the registers. Okay, and then protection of memory is required to ensure the correct operation. What does it mean is, one memory area cannot overlap with the other memory area. If it overlaps, the content will be overlapping. If the content overlaps, the whole things will get collapsed. So in order to mention the boundary, in order to maintain the boundary of the memory area, there should be some protection mechanism in order to maintain the protection of the memory area for the unauthorized access or the illegal access. For that, the memory management part of the OS takes care using the protection technology. Okay, and now let us see some basic concepts about this, how the data is bind to the memory. Okay, so we all know that compile time, load time, and execution time. When you start running your program, you say it is compilation. This compilation always brings some errors which has been made in the program. If there is no errors, it is say there is no errors. Okay, so in that case, what it actually does is, there is an absolute code generator. That means whenever you compile your object source program, it will be combined into an object program. That means they are converted into the code where the system can little bit access by the bytes. That is the absolute code. So it must recompile if starting the location changes. That means suppose if you change the value, or if you change any make corrections, you have to again make the compilation. That is called as the That is one, there is the address binding of the instruction and data to memory addresses. Okay, and then then it is load time. When you load the particular part of the memory or the data, that is the system should generate an relocatable code. What is relocatable code is the code is with respect to the memory address. Okay, so now because since the compile time the memory location is not available to the system, so after coding, after compilation only, the system will be able to know the memory address. So for that the system should generate an relocatable code. That means the address can be relocated by some mapping, that is called as a relocatable code. And what is execution time is the execution time is really the work is done. That means the hardware support is needed in order to make the execution from one memory segment to the another memory segment. Okay, so now here the binding delayed until runtime if the process can be moved during the execution. Actually all this time we all know about what is compilation and what is loading time and what is execution time in general. Actually why it is mentioned over here is whenever the address, that is binding of instruction and data happens, these are all the different stages where the instruction and data get bound. When you say for example add a comma b, so add is the instruction and a and b are the data. A and B are the data that has to be fetched from some other part of the memory. So naturally there should be a binding that happen between to take the data from the concerned memory address to bring it to the main memory. So there is where the concept of address binding take place. So the address binding may happen either in the compile time or in the load time or in the execution time. And now let us see how the multi-step, how the process is whenever a user give the program for execution, how it looks like. So the source program is given, the compiler or assembler as depending upon your program, it is assembly language program or high level program, it is compiled and then that is the compile time, and when it is compiled the source program is converted into object program. So once the object program is compiled, there is some other object modules are needed. For example, you may say include stdio.h, include conio.h, some header files, some other modules, those has to be brought, that is called as a linkage editor. So and that modules also has to be loaded, so that is called as a loader. And for that we have one more system software called as a loader. That loader will load these modules, that is called as the load time. Okay, so compile time and then load time and finally the execution time. What is the execution time is the memory binding. Okay, the memory binding, everything is happened and all the whatever the instruction has to be done, everything is dynamically loaded to the system library and then the real processing is done in order to convert the program into the binary memory image of the program, that is called as a runtime. Here we can talk about the dynamic linking. Okay, so dynamic linking takes in the execution time. Okay, so this is how whatever program you enter to the system, whether it is a high level language program or assembly language program, this is how the program gets executed inside the system. Okay, so now we should also know about some basic concept. What is logical address and a physical address? Logical address is it is generated by the CPU. It is a virtual address. That means how the user thinks about the logically about the address. What is physical address is really how it is stored in the memory of the computer. Okay, so we think some way the data is stored and system stored in different way. So there should be always a mapping. So logical and physical addresses are same in the compile time and load time address binding schemes. Okay, and when it differs only in the execution time. Okay, so that is the physical address and the logical addresses. And then we have to next is the topic is swapping. What is swapping is temporarily taking the data or memory from and out of the main memory. So as we know that main memory is the only area the CPU can access to make any communication, makes any processing, making any processing. In that case, all the data has to be got from the backing store to the main memory. So in order to do this, there should be a mechanism in order to bring the data from the backup to the main memory so that the CPU can access and process the data or the instruction. So that process is called as swapping. So swapping is temporarily taking out of the data from the backing store and then bring to the main memory in order to make the continued execution. So that is called as an roll out and roll in. Okay, so what is roll out and roll in is they are algorithms by which it is a priority based algorithm where the higher priority job are taken and loaded and executed, and while the lower priority process is swapped out. That means whichever is needed for the time being, it has the higher priority, it is brought to the main memory, and which is of lower priority will taken to the backup memory. That is called roll out and roll in. Okay, so naturally while swapping there is a transfer time will be included. So thus the total transfer time is naturally depending upon the amount of memory swap. That means more data you swap from the memory, the transfer time is also more. That is obvious. And then some modified versions, some using some other OS like Unix and Linux and Windows, they have some modified versions of the swapping. So in order to make this data between the main memory and the disk memory, the system maintains a ready queue. This we have seen in the process management. So ready queue or the queue where the process acquired all the resources in order to be ready for the execution. Okay, so this is shown this diagram of the swapping. This is an operating system that is at the top of the memory. This is a user programs running in the main memory, and whatever we cannot load all the program in the main memory because it is small. It has to be put in the backing store. So the priority process, this is called swap out and swap in. Whichever is needed for the time being is brought to the main memory, which is not used for the time being is brought back to the backup memory. But this swapping we as a human being cannot realize. When we switch on the system, as the memory capacity is more and as RAM speed is high, that swapping time lag and all we will not feel actually. This is all happening in the internal part of the memory of the operating system. Okay, so that's all about the basic concepts of memory management. Hope you understood the concepts of memory management, and thanks for watching.